The most easily obtainable food source when you're out at sea is, of course, fish. So it goes without saying that a seafaring adventurer must give careful consideration to how to cook a tasty fish-based meal. If the chance arises, I'd like you to try some of my cooking. I am not particularly fond of food that's thrown together in a hurry without much care and attention. The way I see it, if your meal consists of a single fish, you should grill it to perfection. Eating is supposed to be an enjoyable experience, so how can we stand to be so slapdash about it?
Without a doubt, my favorite food is rice cake soup. I like cooking up a big, delicious potful for everyone to share. It's a recipe for a good time. As far as food is concerned, I'm fine with anything. If we're counting beverages, though, I'm not very good with alcohol. Yeah, don't laugh. And before you say it, yes, I've wondered what this says about my identity as a Mondstatter. But, you know, too much alcohol is bad for you anyway, so not drinking is a good thing.
My favorites are cake and tricolor dango, probably because I seldom get the chance to enjoy the luxury of sweets. The rations we have in the field are intended to be simple, effective, and quick, and are seldom served with any seasonings at all, let alone sugar. It's probably the most precious commodity of all. What can I say? I guess I just have a sweet tooth. I'll pretty much eat anything, but onions are an exception. One time, the logistics division added ground onion to my food, and I bawled in front of everyone, right there at the mess table. Talk about embarrassing. The soldiers from logistics felt terrible about it too.
Lollipops are pretty much the best things ever. The candy tastes awesome, but also, it looks really cool just having a stick hanging out of your mouth. It gives me like a real punk kind of vibe. Here, you try it. Well, I am an Oni, so there's nothing I hate more than beans. Soybeans, mung beans, whatever, I hate them all. Just touching one is enough to set off my allergies, let alone eating them. We have to get people to resist this constant urge to throw beans everywhere.
High-carb foods that give you instant energy, like rice balls. If you eat one the moment you wake up, it stops you feeling so groggy and bleary-eyed. Then, you can just relax and get straight back to sleep. Can't be picky about food when you've still got growing to do. That said, I haven't gained any height recently. Maybe I'm not eating enough vegetables? But salad isn't filling enough, and sometimes it can be really bitter. Ugh.
I prefer snacks to entrees. I always go from stall to stall during festivals, eating as I go. By the way, are you any good at making snacks? I'll trade the dongo I made with you. Here, have the big ones. Milk never fails to start some real fireworks in my stomach. Crackle, kaboom. You know what I mean? But I can handle dishes and snacks made with milk for some reason. Maybe the little Sealy in my stomach is just pickier than most.
I just love eating bird egg sushi. The ingredients are easy to find, and it's simple to prepare. Perfect for military life. Sitting down to eat bird egg sushi in the midst of war might seem a bit extravagant, but in most cases, simple food like this brings great satisfaction to the soldiers. If I had to say, I'm not fond of any sort of seafood. But please, keep this strictly confidential. The fishing industry is essential to Watatsumi Island, and if word were to get out that seafood wasn't my thing, I'm afraid morale would be gravely affected.
I'm fascinated by food from overseas, though I don't get to try it very often. So if I had to choose something from Inazuma, then probably Chasuke. But not when anyone else is watching, so I tell you that in confidence. Though I do not eschew animal fat and organs entirely, they are far from my first choice.
I've always had a preference for easy-to-carry foods that provide quick and ample sustenance, such as onigiri, the top choice for replenishing your stamina in the middle of a battle. But that's just a personal preference. I don't dictate what my subordinates have to eat. I generally avoid sweet foods, not that I have a strong aversion to them. Why? Well, sweet things put your mind and body at rest. So if I ever eat sweet things, it's easy to... Essentially, I mustn't slack off, and that's the end of it. No further questions on this topic.
Foolish question. There are only two kinds of foods. Those that must be consumed to nourish the body, and those that harm it. Oh, don't listen to the Shogun. Desserts. Cavities are no big deal. You can just replace your teeth. Anyway, I just don't see how desserts can pose a serious obstacle to my pursuit of eternity.
Oh, on that note, let me recommend my one true love. Tofu. Tofu all the way. Light in flavor, tender in texture, not to mention smooth and nourishing. It goes well with all manner of soups and dishes, and more importantly, it's available throughout the seasons. Beauty over complexity. Tofu dishes are my kind of flavor. I don't like cold dishes. Maybe it's because I rarely eat them. When I would get home late, my father used to keep a lantern lit for me. He'd hear me coming and ask me if I was hungry. In his words, the best dishes are served hot.
Tianshu meat, blackback perch stew, cured pork dry hot pot. I just want them all. Unfortunately, I basically never get to eat such things. But, if you don't mind me asking, can you cook any of those dishes? Every day's the same. Stir-fried shrimp day in and day out. No matter how they prepare it, it always tastes the same. Ugh, ghastly. I really can't stand it anymore.
La 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 la. Steamed fish with a side of prawn dumplings. Genshin slime condensate. Ugh. Surely this is Xiangling getting payback.
I have no interest in mortal food. Cooking is tedious and the wait is long. The one thing I can manage to stomach is almond tofu. The taste of almond tofu feels like a fond dream. Wait, I am expected to place slices of meat and wrappings myself, and then eat them together? Ugh. Humans these days do not know what they are doing.
Drink only spring water, eat only whole grains. That's my motto. So I would be grateful if you could please remove that treacherously enticing-looking plate of delicacies from my field of view. Much obliged. Chilans are strict vegetarians, so please do not take offense when I decline meat dishes. Yes, that includes your vegetable fritters, since they have been fried in animal fat. Thanks, but I can't. I'm afraid I really can't. I don't mean to argue, it's just I have a keen sense of smell, so I know how they've been cooked.
I've sampled numerous dishes during my time away from the mountains, but the truth is that I don't really remember how they taste. The only dish I can never forget the flavor of is that bowl of noodles I ate at home so long ago. I shouldn't have to remember that. Why do I have to remember that? Chew medicinal herbs for long enough, and you can only taste the bitterness. In all the years I trained under the Adepti, I had to abstain from all kinds of things, and to a point I got used to it. But them? The common delights of the mortal realm pose no hindrance to the Adepti. Thus, we may indulge in all manner of dishes as we please. These are the exact words my master said.
Have you ever tried beef bourguignon? Big chunks of meat with the smooth taste of alcohol. It's delectable. You mean I'm supposed to dip this hash brown in jam? Ugh, this is sacrilege.
I like making my own treats. Not always your typical sweet treats, though. For example, a chilled tomato and aspic jelly egg roll pairs very nicely with an ice-cold glass of berry and mint punch. The most important thing is that they leave the people who like eating them with big smiles on their faces. I can't stand a rich broth. The flavor is too overpowering. It's so filling you can't train or fight afterward. And also, it doesn't really work as field rations. Simply put, broth and I are sworn enemies.
I'm not picky. Anything's better than traveling on an empty stomach. Had an oseram stew once that was so thick you could pave a road with it. Ugh.